Buzz is helping us eat healthier, sharing some surprises about gas station food and also a seafood favorite, shrimp. He joins us live from New York with a look. I love when you do these investigative reporter pieces. It's so much fun to see what you guys actually find, and sometimes scary.
Well, you're very kind, Laura. The truth about food has captured America's attention because we don't actually know some of the basics about what we're eating and what we're putting in our bodies.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about shrimp. Over 90% of the shrimp Americans eat is imported. 90% of it?
Now, who would have thought? And we consume 4 pounds of shrimp on average per person in America. So we wanted to get to the truth about shrimp, what's going down. And only about 3 to 4% of that imported shrimp is evaluated by our government. We can't keep up with it. Wow. And in other parts of the world, especially in Southeast Asia, they grow these shrimp in these big farms, these big vats, because they're in such a dirty environment. They've got to use lots of antibiotics that breeds resistance. They put chemicals in it. These pesticides get into the shrimp. They find rodent hairs, rodents themselves, all kinds of crazy things. Yeah. And so the question then becomes, what are you going to do about it if you're just trying to shop for shrimp, which in itself is good for your family? So I sent off and my investigative team to New Orleans to go out in the shrimp boat, and we're actually going to show you how to get locally caught wild shrimp. Doesn't cost a fortune. We're also going to show you how to tell if the shrimp is fresh or not. One little tip for everybody, just smell the shrimp. You can actually, from smelling it and feeling the body with a little crispness, you can make sure that it's actually fresh. And then we're going to show you how to cook it so you don't destroy the benefits that might otherwise be in it.
Very interesting. Had no idea. Okay, let's talk about gas station food. I looked this up. I thought this fact was interesting. So 7-Eleven, just picking one out for random. Basically, 7-Eleven sells 20 million pizzas a year. Their website also says more than 60 million grilled hot dogs are sold. So if you think people aren't stopping and buying the food at those gas stations, you're totally wrong. This is easy grab and go. So many people do it every day.
We all do it, and for understandable reasons. But, of course, these were gas stations that began selling food, so they don't have the same culture of food hygiene. They're not as careful sometimes about things like the temperature of the food. When you walk into a grab-and-go store, convenience store, they're stacking this stuff up to make it easier for you to grab it. But think about this. The temperature is coolest at the bottom. So you need to be wise and clever, because if it gets about 41 degrees, it's not supposed to be sold anymore, and some of that stuff's not. So grab from the back, get in the bottom. Don't topple the whole pyramid display they put up there. Just grab one of the cooler ones from below. Check the expiration dates. And one little favor, buy the nuts. The nuts are good for you. A lot of the other stuff that they sell in the convenience stores is not. At least do yourself a favor, put that in your ashtray so you're snacking on healthy foods.
There you go. You said there's some recent changes that were made. Are these changes for the good or not?
Oh, they're for the good. There's more attention to hygiene, and we're also beginning to study more how people behave when they eat foods. We're going to talk also about road rage, which comes up when you drive into these places. It turns out a new study came out looking at the effect of some infections like toxoplasmosis. That's what women get from the kitty litter. They're not supposed to be near when they're pregnant.
Right.
So you can get that from undercooked meat. And people who have these parasites are more likely to have these emotional outbursts, twice as likely actually, and they're actually 6 times more likely to have a car accident. So we now are beginning to think that road rage, in some cases, might be linked to undercooked meat and the parasites that come along with it. Who would have thought?
Wow, yeah, no kidding. And then you're going to finish up the week on Friday with talking about prescription drugs. 4 billion prescription drugs filled every year. A lot of people simply cannot afford to fill those prescriptions, so they're not. And you're going to talk about on your show some tricks to finding the cheapest prescription drugs. I think that could help all of us. So that's something else that we're looking forward to seeing this week. We appreciate it.
You're more welcome. One little quick, there's an app called Blink you should check out. This app actually lets your doctor know what the medications cost and you. And a lot of times you actually can pay less than your copay for the medications. And the reason I love these kinds of tools is if your doctor knows what the medications cost, they can switch you from a capsule to a pill. They can take a drug that's used once a day, make it twice a day, and they can dramatically reduce the cost of the pill. So ask your doc if there's a cheaper option than what you're on right now. It helps.
Okay, a lot more good facts like that from Dr. Oz. Coming up this week, you can see Dr. Oz weekdays at 2 here on Fox 4. It is 7.